Yo, it's Cass and Chris. We got you in the mix. Yeah. We say goodbye to the gloominess and the rain. Bright-eyed pupils when we peep the waves. Until we get sipping our local IPA. Welcome to the city built for leisure and play. Cause we're living.
Welcome back, my friends. Another edition of the Livin in San Diego podcast. We come to you live. What's the date today?
28th.
28th of May. May the 28th be with you. Welcome back. All about living in San Diego. This is where we chat. We got a good one today. We're going to go over some stuff. I covered a bucket list last time. Today, it's Cassidy's turn. Born and raised here in San Diego. So what's some things he's been thinking about doing that just hasn't happened yet?
Yeah.
We're going to pick his brain. He was going through a few things. He's like, oh, wait, I already did that.
ChatGPT,
I
went through the list and I've done like 99% of the things that it said.
All right, you got to figure out your bucket list.
Right, not ChatGPT's bucket list. Okay.
So we'll get into that, but we'll also dive into, quick little Padres update, quick little San Diego FC update as well, and just fixing the old microphone here. But yeah, we chat about all things living in San Diego. Like we're still working on getting our first guest on. Schedules didn't work out this week, but we will get him on sooner than later and tell the story. I was chatting with him. I saw him this weekend, and he said, I don't know why you want me on. The story's not that good. I was like, I don't know, dude. You haven't heard it from my perspective. So we'll dive into that, but it's a good story. I believe it is. So it'll be fun. Shoot for next week. But if you guys have any, let's say, requests, or you guys know anybody who would be a good fit for our podcast, if you listen to a few of our episodes, kind of what we're diving into, sports, Padres, things to do, restaurants, what else do we get into?
Hikes, parks,
life, bucket list.
Yeah.
But all about San Diego, even if it's just a story about, because we want to dive into maybe like the story that we're going to chat on with Shane when he hops on is he does hiking and stuff all around here and camping, whatever, but it's not directly in San Diego, but you get there from here. It's a drive from here, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he lives here. So it's, his story as well. So anyways, hello at Livin in San Diego. Hit us up. Livin in San Diego. Livin. You don't have to include the apostrophe.
Yeah. Not in the email.
Not in the email. So hit us up. We need a new address too. I'm going to work on that. Pod at Livin in San Diego. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that.
All right, we'll do it.
Don't email it yet though. Stick with hello until Chris gives you the thumbs up.
Yes.
Hello at livininsandiego.com. Hit us up. Welcome back to this is episode. What episode? We're in 235.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with that.
We should start doing like episode 235, but episode 7 of the new version.
Yeah.
Do like a joint because
season 2.
Yeah, because then like once we get to 100 of this idiom, this version of the podcast, it'd be fun to celebrate that rather than when we get to 300 of total podcasts. I mean, that's still a big thing.
All right,
but
start calculating.
Yeah,
we'll have to figure out when we started and when we finished. But yeah, we just had Memorial Day. And Cassie's out of focus over there, but I think he's got it. Yeah, we just had Memorial Day. And would you guys get into anything on Memorial Day?
Cam had a baseball tournament all weekend, so we were at Mission Sports Park in San Marcos for a good majority of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We were there. Didn't get any W's, but it was fun. Boys played pretty well. They played some really tough teams. So.
Local? Where are these other teams from?
Yeah, all of them were local. So they played one of San Marcos's club teams for 12U. They've been playing together since they were 6 years old. They're also really good friends with the umpire. So always a good start.
Kind of like some of the umps you run into in softball. You're like, hey, what's up, Dave? Or
exactly,
whatever.
Yeah, but the opposite direction. So not ideal. Played another team that's out of Rancho Santa Fe. Pretty cool. Carlos Quinton is their manager.
Okay.
So he was a cool dude. Padre, White Sox.
I saw him at he was at the jiu-jitsu place one day. Cool. As he was walking in, he was on his phone the whole time. He was very busy with his business, whatever was going on, whatever he's baseball. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, you look familiar. What? Quentin, when did you play for the Padres? And
Yeah.
I didn't get to say hi though.
He
was chatting.
Cam. I didn't tell Cam before the game because I didn't want him to nerd out on, 'cause he does that. But I told him after, and I went and looked at his stats, and he had a 38 home run season. So impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so we played that team. We didn't have our whole squad all weekend either. 4 of them were playing in Ramona in a different tournament. 1 we played against on Saturday morning.
How does that work out?
Because this wasn't on our. No, I guess it was on our original. We just tried to make it work. They're playing with their club first before they play with All Stars, just because they had already had it scheduled and everything. And if we pulled those 4 from their actual club, they wouldn't have had enough to play.
Wow.
So, but it was fine. I mean, we got some reps. We had some subs that were fun. And then Sunday morning, we actually played an all-star team, like San Marcos all-star team. Wasn't our best game. So moving on, we have another tournament this weekend. I won't get to go to very many games, if any, but we'll see how it all works. Soccer's taking over.
2-sport tournament this weekend.
Yeah, soccer. It couldn't have gone worse from the scheduling. I think he has like 11:45 soccer, 12 o'clock baseball, 4 o'clock baseball, 4:30 soccer. So
you know what that means?
What?
You got to get on the board of both of them now.
Well, see, I have no poll for any of these. So this is random tournament directors are making those schedules. So not mine, but yeah, it was fun. It was a good first weekend of baseball. Got a whole bunch of pool time in this weekend, which was fun. It was nice and warm out.
Yeah, that's what my boys, they were hopping in the pool at my folks' house this weekend, and it was like warm enough. I didn't go in. But.
We warmed it up. We warmed it up a little. We did spike the heat a little, so we'll see if we have an algae bloom this week. But
probably, most likely.
But it was really fun to just get back and just hang out in the backyard a bunch and chill. It's great.
How Memorial Day weekend should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we hit up a San Diego FC game on Saturday.
You guys are starting to be big time supporters.
We sat next to the supporters, not next to them, but like section 101. We were the next section over. They were 2 sections over. And last time we sat level 2. This time was level 1. And so we're a little bit closer to the action, to the musics. We actually looked up some of the songs that they were singing, because last time we were you could hear the beat, you couldn't exactly pick out what they were saying for the supporter section. And those guys it doesn't matter if San Diego FC has got the ball, if we're driving down, if I don't know if we call it a drive, but whatever. If you got the ball, and just the whole time just going after it. I think there was a repertoire of like 4 to 5 songs, but now we know them, so we were singing them on the way home. There's some good jams, and anyways, went there. We weren't there for the fight. I don't know. Have you seen any of that on social?
Right?
Yeah. I didn't think so. When we left, if you've seen the videos on Instagram or whatever, just a bunch of idiots from both sides fighting, because it's a soccer game. It used to happen at Charger games all the time. I've seen dozens of fights at Charger games. And
was it LA?
Yeah, this was LA Galaxy.
Galaxy, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, and they had their section up, opposite corner, top row, whatever. And they had the whole steps lined up. They were all in white shirts, not all of them, but most of them, so you could see where they were. And the entire staircase, like every 5 feet, there was a security guard during the game. Obviously, that didn't happen after the game. I think it was just a big melee.
Security's like, all right, we're out here now.
Yeah, well, it was like happened here, this stairwell, down below, up top, just a bunch of idiots. But I remember, even back in Charger days, there was a big fight after, probably most games, but the one that came within our parking area, and it was kind of like there was Charger fans fighting Charger fans, but it was a Charger Jets game, which you're like, no, there's no rivalry there, but there was fighting. There was this bridge going across. There was fighting on top of that, just kind of like this one. One of our acquaintances was at the game too, kind of near that side. He said there was almost people getting thrown over the balcony. And his when we got out, everybody was cool, everybody was chill, but the stands is from the videos looked a little sparse. So it was definitely, kind of the laggers, the hangers, the guys, people looking
We're
for
still
that.
finishing their 12th beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Just being dumb. But anyways, we had a great time there. San Diego FC. So first half, we got there. Great seats, right in the sun. Dude, I got a really good thigh tan. You got to see it. I'll show you after this. It was red. We're getting tan now, so it's gonna be looking good for the summer. But the beginning's fun. Rey Mysterio comes out. Not every time, but he came out, put the flow, which is like the San Diego FC ball. Got a little frog going on here.
Yeah, you do.
and then they have the fireworks, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Where we sat, ashes are coming like in our face. There was like ashes in our waters and beers, and we're like, oh, they're actually like real fireworks. But watched the entire, I think about 35 minutes in. So the first half's 45 minutes. 35 minutes are like, let's beat the crowd. Let's go get a drink. Let's go bathroom, whatever we need to do, get some water. Walked up, waiting in line. Within the last 5 minutes, Galaxy score. Boo, 2 minutes later, FC scores. We're like, all right, well, we just missed all the scoring from this entire game.
Probably going to be a 1-1 tie.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was until the 95th minute. So extra time. What do they call it? Overtime? Not
Extra
overtime.
time,
Extra
yeah.
time?
Yeah.
I'm learning all the soccer
time.
terms. Yeah, added time. There we go. It was the last minute. A nice little lift up from Anders Dreyer to Chucky Lozano. Nice header in.
Nice.
Crowd went wild.
Funny
Game
thing.
was over. It was good. So it was a fun little win. And then, just hung out. And then what do we do? I don't know. Hung out.
That was it. That was the highlight.
That was the highlight. I'm trying to think. I know we did something Monday too. Oh, we did. No, actually, Sunday did a little beach soccer.
Oh,
Beach
right.
soccer is the way to go. Run around there. It's fun. A little
Nice.
kickball action. Loved it. But on Memorial Day, yeah, I know it's for all of our soldiers and all that kind of stuff, which is, celebrate all everything they gave. And I was just going to give a little shout out to, because my Gramps were doing his service today, but he was in the Marines for, I didn't know it was that long, for 10 years. But just a quick little background on Grandpa Bob.
Nice.
His little obituary that my mom sent me. So he was 88 years old. He was born in Minnesota. So we have some Minnesota roots. Shout out, like, what's up, Tyler? Tyler Blair. Got a little Minnesota in us, but that's when we did a road trip back in the day. We had some family in Iowa, some Minnesota, kind of went back there, and really good people back there. So anyways, that's where he was born, traveled around a little bit. He was an altar boy at a local Catholic church, which is interesting. He was like kind of like that old school, like you think a 80-year-old grandpa, right? Like old school, grew up on a farm, joined the Marines, moved around, came out, settled down in Vista after the Marines, had 5 kids, was married to grandma for, 65 years? Let me see here. A long time. 64 years.
Wow.
With grandma. And lived like they were Vista. That's obviously where, I got to hang out with them, was in Vista, which was awesome. He was in the Elks Lodge for over 60 years. Loved his Coors Light. Loved some country western. Loved some polka music.
That's the Minnesota roots.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. When I did I think it was their 50th anniversary, 40th anniversary, something. I got to DJ at their anniversary at the Elks Lodge.
Yeah.
And so my DJing career was like college parties in San Diego State
He made a whole nother set of records.
Yeah, as I was downloading stuff, I downloaded a lot of polka, a lot of old, old school country. So there was like not, maybe a little bit of George Strait. He was kind of old enough, but you're not really getting into like Garth Brooks and, Shania Twain and all that that's not even new school anymore. But that was new school country at the time. It was like old school dudes. So kind of that maybe Gene Autry, just 50s, 60s, kind of a little bit slower music, but anyways, a lot of polka. So I got to DJ their party. And
how do you fade in and fade out from polka? Do you not? Just
yeah,
hard
no,
cuts?
I kind of did my own set for a bit, and then let's just say, it was fun. All the kids had fun. I did throw in some polka here and there, but it wasn't the star of the show. I kind of went back to my throwing in remixes and stuff, and we had a good time. But but anyways, yeah, shout out to Gramps. Left a legacy behind, and get to go celebrate him today. So shout out to Roland Holthouse. Call him Bob. Raleigh. Raleigh's a good name.
Mm-hmm.
He had his own business for a while, Window Awnings Unlimited, which my dad ran for a little bit too. But he had one on his shirts, Raleigh. So
Nice.
good old Raleigh. I don't know where Raleigh comes from. I guess Roland, Raleigh.
Makes sense.
But then
His
middle name
is Robert.
Robert, and go by Bob,
Yeah.
Bobaho, Bobby. He was the OG king of the road. If you guys ever hear us in it'll be early February episodes, we'll give the playbook. I think we've probably done it in the past, but King of the Road. He was one of the OGs. We go out there for Martin Luther King weekend. So anyways, love you, Gramps, and thanks for your service, and celebrate him today. So
Nice.
good times. He was also a Padre fan. So let's talk about the Padres real quick.
Yeah.
I just looked at the standings. They've been in a little slump. I mean, I've been following. I've seen the games.
Luckily, they all have been, though.
Yeah, but losing 6 in a row kind of hurts. Now they've been they've won 2, maybe 3 in a row, something like that, but took the series from the Marlins. They got a game today at like noon or so.
Yeah.
But last night's game, did you see? Do you even watch Padres, or
We do sometimes, but last night we had baseball till late. So
okay, it was a super fun game. That's the only reason I'll give it just because there's been some weird stuff happening at Padre games recently. Last series, there's a line drive to center field. Jackson Merrill comes up, lands 15, 20 feet in front of him, one bouncer, not even close. There was a guy at second who was tagging. No, he didn't tag, just took off. He's running. He should have been scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of scoring, third baseman coach gives him the hold up sign, but not the point to the base hold up. He just gives him the hands up sign, which I'm sure they all have their own little, they know their third base coach, right? Anyways, the guy stops before he gets to third, beelines it back to second base because he thought Merrill caught the ball. And this is like the tie and run. Merrill just tosses it in. He gets tagged out at second. Everybody's going like, wow, I've never seen that before. I've heard that a few times from Mud and Mark. Just like, whoa, that's a new one.
We had on Saturday, I think it was maybe it was Sunday, a kid running around first and third, and we have first and third plays like where we don't just try to, because you never want to throw to second and try to get the runner out at second.
Yeah.
And youth age, like obviously in the big leagues you can try, but so we have plays where you either throw it to the shortstop who's like charging up, or you throw it to the pitcher or third base. And we threw it to so runner goes from first to second, is almost there. We throw to shortstop. The runner, for whatever reason, has no clue what's going on, so runs back to first base. He had it stolen, like not even a question.
Yeah.
And ran back to second. So
Confusing him.
it was super confusing. Why is the shortstop holding the ball in the middle of the field?
What should I do? I should probably go back.
Probably.
Yeah, there's last night's game. So Padres ended up winning 8-6.
Yep.
The first inning, it was bottom of 1. It was 6-0. So Stephen Kolek gave up 6 runs the first inning. You're like, hey, it's early enough. Probably happens. Last time it happened that a pitcher got the win going down 6-0 or giving up 6 in the first. It was 1998, Bartolo Colon.
Oh, yeah.
Long time ago. So it's been a while.
Although Bartolo, I think, just retired like 3 years ago. But yeah. He pitched till he was like 44, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Must have been in his youth.
Yeah. Must be.
But anyways, they came back, but with a lot of help from not necessarily all of the Marlins defenders, but specifically the second baseman. He had 4 errors.
Ouch.
They rescored it. One was not. They say Jackson Merrill blocked him as he was going past, so he was shielded. So he gave him a hit instead. It was an error. It didn't even hit his glove. Like, he was there. I mean, yeah, you probably lost sight of it, but I didn't see his first error. His second one, it was a good play. He dove bounced off his glove.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was in the air. Chases it down to the foul line. 1 run scores. The guy's already scored. He's done. Second baseman throws it to home, but he threw it about 20 feet
Up the line.
No, 20, up the line. Catcher had to go grab it. Another run scores, right?
Crazy.
That was the first, just like, why even throw it? Just run it back in the infield at that point. There's no chance. It was, even if he made the perfect throw, the guy scored. He was already in the dugout, basically. So then he booted a ball. Then he got easy. They're like, oh, there's a double play. Grabs the ball, throws it over the shortstop's head. And then something else. At this point, just for all the parents out there who are looking at our kids, I was talking to the wife about this. Yeah, we're like telling Lincoln, hey, dude, look at, even the professionals are, I'm getting stuck in the cords here. Even the professionals are, it happens to everybody. He's getting a bad case of yips just in his head. But
I just looked up the poor guy.
Yeah.
Ronnie Simon.
Yeah, he would have had the most errors by Marlin ever, but they went back to 3. They actually took him out of the game. This was like in the 4th inning, by the way. He had 4 errors.
They took him out in the 4th?
4th or 5th, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They yanked him because he was on the field and he was getting emotional. Like he was literally like tears in his eyes, just like cursing himself out.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, when our kids mess up in soccer, whatever, baseball, anything, they get emotional sometimes. And it's like, snap out of it, dude. Come on, get back to it. But it's just human emotion. It's just like, look at that. Obviously there's some times where you got to get out of it quick, but hey, it happens, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
It's like, give your kids a little slack.
Yeah.
Let them wallow for a second and then get back after it.
Agreed.
But anyways, they end up winning 8-6. So it was a good win. We might be, last time we checked, we were 2 games back. We might be a game back.
I think you're a game back. No, maybe you're 2 games back. I just was looking at it.
And then the undercover Giants are, at least they were in second when I looked at it 2 days ago.
Anymore. Yeah, so Padres are 2 back. Giants are 3 back now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, not nice. We lost
Not nice.
2 in a row to Detroit. I mean, Detroit's a good team.
Yeah.
But they lost 2 games 3-1. So they play they just started right now. So I'm going to check out of this podcast and I'm going to watch the game.
Yes. If you guys are listening, he's going to give you live updates here. So for the game
it's like
that
when
happened
you called me out when we were on a Zoom call, you're like, is the game on over there?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a 12. No, I think it's probably 1 o'clock. They start coverage at 12:45. So we'll turn on the television. All right, let's talk bucket list.
Yeah,
let's talk Cassidy. Let's talk. You were born and raised here.
Yeah,
grew up in Encinitas, in the boondocks.
Well,
lots changed since then.
Yeah. Yes, I did. Most of my growing up was in the boondocks. You're right.
You were in the boondocks, yeah. Oh, besides the beach that you grew up, you were the beach and then the boons.
Yeah, Leucadia until I think I was 6, somewhere on there.
Yeah, real quick, Boondock. Have you seen Boondock Saints?
Yeah,
good movie.
Yeah, really good.
Continue.
That was random, but yes.
I don't know. I just remember seeing that for the first time when recently, but when I did see it for the first time, I was like, dang, this is a good movie, man.
Yeah,
I like it. Maybe a rewatch here soon.
Yeah, it should be.
We'll break it down.
Streaming. It's got to be streaming somewhere.
It's got to be.
Yeah. So.
All right. Grew up Livin.
Yep.
Boondocks. Nobody knew about Livin back then. It wasn't even a thing. Encinitans didn't even know about Livin back then.
I don't know. It depends. I think where you were. Coastal, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But like we still were going to school at like Parkdale Lane, so people in Village Park knew. I think. Yeah. Basically, they knew where it was. Yeah. They knew we were getting bussed in from somewhere. So.
Where are these guys coming from?
Yeah. I mean, as a whole group, it was literally all the kids from Livin took the same bus to school.
Yeah.
For elementary school and middle school.
So it was before San Alejo. Did you have to go Quest Haven, when it was all creepy back there? That kind of, I guess you'd go off Elfin Forest at that point and then come in, huh? You wouldn't have to go through a Livin to get back there. I mean, you would to go back there, but I'm just thinking because we didn't used to go back. I went back there a handful of times to, look at the insane asylum or whatever's allegedly back there. It's not really, but
no, it's not.
It used to be scary as a kid. But
There are
yeah,
witches, I think, out there, though.
there are. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fact.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. So growing up in San Diego, so when I did the solo pod, it was like, dude, you're just driving around, like you have your bubble, you've seen stuff here and there. And like I said, I'm hiking now, and there's, I want to go check out the surf museum and this and that and all kinds of things. There's just things that you've done or haven't done that you maybe thought about. So let's dig in a little bit of some things just in San Diego that you want to, restaurants, hikes, places to museums, shopping, just experiences. Want to go ride the, do they still have the duck boats in
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, let's start it off. Well, let's start with number one. What do we got?
So number one, I don't know how many we're going to have on this list, but number one, there's two things at La Jolla Shore/Cove that I've never done that I've always wanted to. First one is leopard sharks. Have you ever done that?
I haven't.
Yeah.
It seems so easy though.
Yeah.
It's like, see it all over social. There's just all the little
Leopard
sharks
shark,
in the ocean.
Yeah,
Or-
so that's a big one. Like, and it's got to be super easy. My brother also spends a ton of time down there. He could probably just point us in the right direction of what to do and where to go or take us. So definitely want to do that. I think the boys would love it. Get to see that many sharks that are not dangerous right there in front of you, and yeah, it'd be cool.
Do we know what time of year that is?
I don't. So that's part of the problem, probably.
Yeah, I like, we should know living here. You're like, oh yeah, that's like the leopard shark season. Like that's when they all go there, right?
You'd also hope it's a time of year where you want to get in the water.
Yeah.
Where it's not freezing cold. So, but yeah, I just always thought that was a cool, and like you said, we've seen photos and video. Every time it's like that season, you see it all over Instagram and
There's a lot of them. I'm looking at a picture. So leopard shark season in La Jolla Shores generally runs from mid-June to October, peaking in August and September. Thousands of these sharks gather in the area for their mating season, which is considered the largest aggregation of leopard sharks in the world.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Interesting. Leopard sharks are attracted to the warm, shallow, calm waters of La Jolla Shores, which they use for mating and pupping. They're harmless to humans. So anybody out there, leopard sharks are generally harmless to humans and considered a fascinating attraction for snorkelers and divers.
Yeah, I think it's one of those creatures where you don't want to stick your finger in its mouth, but
Yeah, they have to have teeth, definitely, but they're not.
But they're not going to come after you. They're also small. They're not.
How big do they get? I wonder when they're actual
A few feet
sharks. Okay.
Yeah, they're not big sharks.
Do they stay here?
Yeah, some of them do. I mean, I think they probably just spread out through the coast. But I've seen them when we used to do La Jolla Cove a lot growing up. When we go snorkeling there, we'd see leopard sharks now and then.
Yeah.
Like full size leopard sharks.
Not big.
No, they're not. No, they're not like a reef shark or anything like that. It's not a big shark. So
Yeah.
and we've petted them at. Is it SeaWorld that has them or? Maybe
Yeah, I think it did. That first little thing right when you walk in.
Yeah.
I think they have them in there.
So docile.
Yeah.
Little shark. So easy.
Yeah. That's my brother doesn't surf a ton, but it's probably 15 years ago now. Yeah, no, I was living in Encinitas, so let's say maybe a decade ago. So let's go surfing. So brought him out, Corey.
Okay.
So brought him out D Street, and then we went down towards Swami's, just in between there, because that's where I surfed a lot when we first moved up here, because there's nobody there, and you can find little peaks here and there. And it was this awesome day, beautiful bluebird day. The actual water was crystal clear. For some reason, random times through the year,
Yeah.
it's just like gorgeous. And I was like, dude, you go like dove down, I'd dive under my board, and it was probably about 6 foot of water.
Yeah.
See everything in there. Anyways, dove off one time, and off maybe 5 feet away, 2 little leopard sharks, whatever. Maybe they were full grown. I don't know. They were small. Start cruising by, and I popped up. I was like, hey, heads up, there's some sharks down there. Like, not even thinking. I was just like, for him to check out.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, check out those leopard sharks. He's like, starts freaking out. I was like, no, they're just like
Not
little
that
tiny
kind of
guys.
shark.
Yeah. So that was my only shark sighting out here. But
That's the only thing that makes me nervous about those clear days. It's like awesome to be able to see.
You're like,
feet,
I'd rather
when
not.
You're shuffling out and all that, but yeah, sometimes you'd rather not. I remember we were, Donovan and I, my brother and I were surfing off Grandview, and it was crystal clear, and Donovan always has his dive gear in his, I don't know if he still does, but forever he always had his dive gear. So he ran back up the stairs, got his mask, came back out on the board, and was just like poking his head under and taking a look at, because it was crystal clear. It's like, it looked like Catalina.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's just like random days where it's like that. Otherwise, it's like that strange hue of green.
Just, murky. You like can't really see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like those days. All right. That's a good one. Yeah, no, I'm going to add that to mine.
good. And then the other one that's at La Jolla that I've never done is the kayaking to the caverns. I don't need to go in them. I've been in plenty of caverns.
Down there?
Yeah. You can go to like the bluffs that kind of are between La Jolla Shores and La Jolla Cove.
Yeah.
And kayak over there. Just always looks fun. It's kind of mellow waters, and I like a good kayak.
All right.
Now and then.
Yeah. That's we're trekking down there next weekend.
Oh, for kayaking?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Could definitely.
Maybe I can knock it out next weekend. I'll tell you.
I think we're doing Cassie's bucket list this week, this next weekend.
We'll be in La Jolla for a baseball tournament next weekend. So
hit us up. Yeah. I'm going, bring the old lady out for just a little getaway. So
nice.
We'll be out there just Saturday, but it'll be good. But yeah, maybe kayaking actually was one of the things. You said you've dove out there, yeah?
Yeah, only once.
Okay.
Yeah, with my brother.
Just
and my
off the
dad.
shore, you just hop off and cruise out?
Yeah, swimming out and in through the waves is a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Where do you
it's a
take
lot
off
of
from?
work. Literally from the main beach of the shores, like where they have the, all the showers and stuff. That grassy area, like right before the. I don't know what the first hotel there is.
And then trek south along the cliffs over there?
No, you just go straight out the beach.
Okay.
You walk right off the La Jolla Shores. Probably like, I don't know, 80 feet, 100 feet off, like past the break by a few feet. And as soon as you can start going under, then it's easy. But trying to get through the waves with all the gear and a belt, weight belt and all that.
Let's make it hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. And there's days where they just have to say, nope, we're not doing this because it's just too much work. But I remember my dad coming in after we did it, and it was really cool. Like, you don't see a ton because you can only see from like me to you, which is what, 10 feet, 8 feet. But some cool, interesting creatures. But I just remember my dad coming in. He's like, yeah, that's too much work. I'm never doing that again. And I didn't say it because I didn't want to make my brother feel bad, but I haven't done it since. And that was before kids, I think.
One and done.
So that was, I'm guessing maybe it was right around then. But yeah, we all made it a day. Like Chelsea and my mom came down and like we hung out, and it was fun. It was just when you have to put on a 6 mil wetsuit, gloves, booties, a hood, and then all the gear, it's just not worth it.
You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, one time we went, it wasn't, I guess like snorkeling. I don't even know if we had snorkels, but just goggles, and went swimming out. It had to have been somewhere between there and Children's Pool. I don't know. Is there, wherever the cliffs are?
Like that's La Jolla Cove.
Yeah, I guess the Cove.
Yeah.
It was definitely, I think it was in college because I remember one of my roommate's buddies was up north, so he must have been in for spring break or something. But anyways, cruised around, and went in one of the caves and saw this lobster, dude. It was the biggest lobster I have ever seen down there, just in one of the caves. And it was I now that I remember, it was not crystal clear, but it was a pretty clear day that day as well. But it was probably, now that I'm looking, it's probably bigger than you.
Yeah.
It's this big. It's gigantic lobster, but
wow.
It was cool.
That's rad.
Yeah, that was my last one too. That was it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what we saw when we were diving. There was just a couple interesting things. Other cold water diving I've done is like Catalina, which is awesome because it is like an aquarium.
See, I didn't add that to my bucket list. That needs to be on there for sure. Not diving, but just going to Catalina.
I guess for us, it's just taking the kids to Catalina because we've yet to do that. We've been a bunch. I grew up going a lot. Just because we'd go, my dad would dive, my mom and I would hang out at the beach.
Where do you boat out of?
You boat? You mean the ferry?
Yeah.
I think we went out of. You can out of Newport, and then you can out of Dana Point. So we would do Dana Point just because it was a closer drive.
Yeah.
The boat ride I think is almost identical.
Okay. What if you took it out of Oceanside?
I don't think there's any ferries that go from there. I don't think so.
That'd be cool.
You could do private boat though.
From there.
Yeah. So because, I mean, I think it's a pretty long trek, but I want to do the helicopter. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does that go from?
Super quick. I think
Probably
anywhere you want. Yeah. I think it's like 15 minutes instead of an hour and change.
Yeah.
So I don't know that for a fact. Fact checks me, but it's probably
sounds
it's
about
really
right.
quick.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with it.
You can also fly there privately.
They have
Like,
an airport?
Just a little airport. So I think if you have if you rent a small plane.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how big's Catalina? It seems tiny.
It's
I mean,
pretty
they have
big
an
when you're
airport.
looking at the rest of the islands.
Yeah.
I mean, only like 8% of it's actually being used. Like a lot of it's just open space. So yeah, we had a dad reach out to me recently asking if we want to do it's not Boy Scouts, something like that, like one of the camper things.
Out there?
Out there, yeah.
Yeah, I think my cousin went out there.
I did.
Maybe Potter too. I think they went out there for some sort of boys trip like that.
Yeah, we did. I did it for Boy Scouts back in the day. It was a blast.
How old were you? Ish.
I was probably 13,
Right.
12 or 13, something like that.
Right.
So I think wasn't my first sleepaway camp. But yeah, you literally try to get merit badges the whole time. You're doing canoeing and kayaking and tying knots and all that stuff.
Love some
All the
knot
Boy Scout
tying.
stuff. Yeah.
Love some knot tying.
And then I just remember playing BS every night for like 4 hours and then going to sleep.
Sounds like a good time. I'm going to Catalina. Let's do it. All right. So we got some La Jolla activities, which is nice. And that's why when we're going down there, I was like, you've been to La Jolla.
Yeah.
Been to like wedding down there. My cousin got married down there. Our buddy got married down there. Used to have a pool route in that area. So I was kind of in that area a lot, but never like hung out. Like never, I don't think, yeah, I guess for my cousin's wedding we stayed, but like just for like a date or over like a staycation. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah. There was always a restaurant that my parents liked growing up that was like right above the cove. And I can't remember what it was called. Crab catcher or something. So we'd go there, not often, but maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah. Have you
That was
been
always
to
my
the marine
go-to.
room?
I have been to the marine room once, but it was for restaurant week. So it was like prefix menu. And it's been, I don't know, 18 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's the one right on the
Right on
the shores.
Yep.
Waves breaking on the windows.
Yeah. I like Duke's, casual. I don't know if you're already have plans for a spot, but that's a big one. George's is like maybe their most famous of the restaurants in actual, like not at the shores, but regular La Jolla.
The one, the hotel we're staying at, I think it's the Grand Colonial or something.
Yeah.
It's like the oldest hotel
That's rad.
in there, potentially haunted. Don't tell anyone. But right at the bottom of that, there's that restaurant. It's supposed to be pretty solid too. 9, 10 or something like that.
Cool.
I don't
Nice.
know. We'll see.
Yeah. The hotel itself is rad.
Yeah.
We stayed there a couple times. It's cool.
Nice. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got on the bucket list?
So another coastal area. We have been to Coronado how many times? Like 5 trillion.
5 trillion. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've yet to stay at the Hotel Del.
Yeah.
So we've, done their movie nights. We've done their ice skating. We've done Santa. We've done just grab tacos and sit by the beach. So we've been to Coronado, or we've been to the Hotel Del a ton and taken advantage of the amenities, but we've never stayed. I've never stayed at the Hotel Del. So
It's revamped now.
Yeah.
So I think it's not totally redone. I mean, reconditioned. What do they call it?
yeah, rehabilitated.
Sure. Yeah.
Remodeled.
Let's go with
I guess that's the
Somewhat
main
remodeled,
word. Yeah. Brought back to its old
that. Restored.
Oh yeah,
we
maybe
go.
that's the word. All of those are words. But yeah, I've never stayed there. Seems cool. Seems like it'd be fun. I know it's expensive, but
Yeah.
but it is a bucket list, so I'm putting it on there just
Yeah.
for
You got it. Yeah. You got to do it. That's we went down. I've never stayed there either. We've just been down, not the last few years. I think we skipped a year in the middle, but during Christmas time, they have the ice rink and that, but then they also have like these huts that you can rent out.
like kind of like igloos.
Yeah, like igloos with like a little heater in there. There's a fire pit outside, roast some mallows. You can order foods and drinks and all that kind of stuff, but it's on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
It's nighttime, so it's just like really cool out there.
Yeah.
We went with our friends. Yeah, it's probably 2 out of the last 3 years. That's a super fun event as well.
Yeah.
But I was looking at some staycations and stuff. I've looked at Hotel Del,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it definitely is not cheap.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Anything there is not cheap.
Yeah,
Not
right.
only just staying there, but
Yeah, right. Coronado, period, is not cheap.
yeah.
Yeah, we did the movie night, which was a blast. We watched Sandlot on the beach, and they set up the big old inflatable screen and they had marshmallow kits and stuff to roast there too. Yeah, it was really fun. I would definitely do that again.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe if they're having like a, do they still have Groupons? Is that still a thing?
I think Groupon's a thing. Yeah, I think so.
But if maybe we just pick like an off weekend and just stay down there for even just the night would be fun.
Yeah, you got to time it right because even the one when I booked La Jolla, I was looking this weekend or whatever weekend, next weekend we're going. It was relatively whatever. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't like exorbitant. And then I just wanted to check like a few other weekends in the future, and it must be like that week, maybe the next week before it kind of goes into like summer pricing when kids are off and holiday or summertime breaks and all that, because it jumped a ton going into, we're going, I guess, beginning of June. So like mid-June and later. Yeah. It was just like, whoop. I just said, okay, good. We'll go this time.
Yeah. The hotel's, that one's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
Well, probably not during the summer months, like you said, but like we've stayed there a couple times. We stayed there for a wedding once because we couldn't afford to stay at the hotel where the wedding was. And then
was it La Valencia? That place was, that's like a grand plus a night.
Yeah. Insane.
I was looking at it. I was like, wait, it's cool. It's nice, but
that's about it.
If you want to go experience it, just go to the bar right there.
Yeah.
It's got a cool little old school vibe, but the rooms is just like, looks like,
well, the rooms where you're going to are kind of old school.
Yeah.
Like the hallways are tight and all that stuff, but it's cool. It's like a neat feeling, killer views, cool little pool area. I remember last time we were there. So yeah, it's a good spot. And
then back to Coronado real quick. I know last week we mentioned, or a few weeks ago, there's no places in San Diego you drink beer on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You can in Coronado.
I think
not in Coronado, but in their little sections where they have like cordoned off, they have their little tables out there where you get one at the little tiki stand and then go to their beaches.
Yeah. You're in the sand, but you're not at the beach.
Yeah. Your feet are touching sand. That's for darn sure.
Yeah. So I like that too. I mean, that little tiki bar / taco bar is awesome. If you haven't been to that should be on your bucket list because tacos are delicious. Beer choices are great. They have, I think they have a full bar and stuff too.
I think so.
I think they do. I think Chelsea.
I think there was like, I think the gals got some margs last time.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely worth checking that out.
And what's the ice cream place down there?
Mood Time.
I just remember it was popping, and it was like a freezing cold night, and still line out the door.
Yeah, it's insane. It's well worth it.
Yeah.
Camden gets they do ice cream cookie sandwiches, which are legit.
Nice.
So they just make them right there. You get to choose your type of cookie, choose your ice cream. They're amazing.
I like that.
Yeah.
I had my first ice cream sandwich in a long time this weekend. Went over to my folks and celebrating my boy's birthday and then his cousin. And she made a giant cookie, probably the size of this light over here.
Yeah.
Top and bottom, and then ice cream all in the middle. So it was like one giant ice cream cookie.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. I think she just took like the package of cookies, the whole thing, put it all together, made one big sandwich, and then the bottom, and then filled it with ice cream and put it in the freezer. Awesome. It was really good.
We did individual cookie sandwiches or ice cream cookie sandwiches this weekend.
Nice.
Chelsea made fresh cookies, put ice cream in between them, and then put them back in the freezer. Delightful.
Yeah, fresh cookies are the way to go on that front.
Yeah.
All right. So what else do we have on the bucket list?
So maybe I wrote one more. So you went recently to a spot that I've wanted to go for a really long time, and that is Campfire. Still haven't done that in Carlsbad. It's been one that I've wanted to do for a while. Probably just need to make a reservation, make it happen.
Yeah, it's not that difficult.
No.
But all these things, even all the stuff I was talking about on that episode, it was like, I mean, I can go do that. It's probably going to take like an hour. I could probably go do that right now.
Yeah.
Or just set aside time instead of like, okay, after the tournament this weekend, maybe we'll just go get dinner, at this place, somewhere new. It's just a matter of getting out of the routine. Like, hey, we go here, we're on our way home, we're going to grab this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, let's plan 4 minutes out of the way. Let's go check out something new.
We're definitely creatures of habit too. Like we tend to go to the same restaurants, order from the same spots. I don't know if it's both. I think it's both of us because I think that's just our nature, because then she gets frustrated when I want the same things over and over, and then she wants O's Kitchen ordered like 4 weeks in a row, and I don't want it. So, but
What's O's Kitchen?
It's what used to be Oscars, and then Pat and Oscars.
Oh yeah,
There's still one out in San Marcos.
Okay, where in San Marcos?
By Nordstrom Rack, like off of Las Posas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that was the one spot that everything's closed that used to be in there. It used to be where Chili's was.
There used to be an Elephant Bar in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There used to be a Best Buy, or not a Best Buy, not a Circuit City. What was it? No, it was one of the big
Fries.
That was kind of nearby. But no, the
Radio Shack.
One of the it was one of the home goods stores that just shut down. What was that called?
Oh.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Oh, Bed Bath.
I think that was in there too.
Yeah. If you have time.
Yeah. What else?
What else for bucket list?
No, Pat and Oscars.
Oh, Pat and Oscars. Oh, yeah, just that it's the. Well, that's a good one in Temecula too. The OG Pat and Oscars. Yeah, we still haven't done that yet either. But
I think that one might be closed.
Really?
I don't know. I looked
at
it.
Like
I remember
during our podcast, our last podcast.
Yeah, it was. It was in the podcast, but I don't know why. I think I saw something about that. But anyways, you guys go look it up. We're not going to do it.
Yeah. So O's we have the same order every time. Kids get pasta. We get a Caesar salad, chicken Caesar, and the breadsticks are still the breadsticks.
So they're the best thing. They're the same breadsticks as prior.
Yeah.
Okay. They still have the same dressing, like the Italian.
Yeah, they have the Italian mustard or Italian also, but yeah, it's legit.
Yeah.
But I just don't want it every week.
No. Every other week.
Yeah.
Is good. Any other restaurants that you want to hit up?
One, like you said, super easy. Haven't done it yet. Probably will this weekend with any luck, but still haven't tried Michi yet.
Really. Yeah.
So, heard good things too. I've heard from a buddy that tried it and said it was really good. So the new brewery in San Marcos, right where Double Peak Brewing used to be, got to go try it. So that's definitely on there.
I was talking with Eddie, who lives over in that zone, and there's a new. It's not in the Mariah's area. It's not in the Michi area, but one of those business park areas back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new golf simulator place.
Oh,
it's kind of it's like Bermuda Club, but only golf.
Got it.
And you don't just go there to hang.
Yeah,
you go there to golf and get your swing better. But they're doing the same thing as it's like a membership.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you are, I think founding members right now, it's like $100 a month, and you get one trip there a day or 1 hour a day, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And then they have, the machines that read it and this and that, and, give you the spin rates and yada, yada, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then, I think there was I think it said there's 3 sims in there. So if you and then there's no, like Bermuda Club had the brewery and the bar, not the brewery, the bar and the, other areas, offices.
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally different vibes, but then like Michi's right there. So if you want to go golf a little bit, grab a beer.
Yeah.
That's a perfect little spot right there.
Yeah. And I think it'll just take going once to kind of make it, put it back in the rotation as an easy stop by.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I need to go there too.
Okay. So we'll just plan a time maybe.
Okay. Next week. Next week.
Put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We should talk to that guy, see if he wants to podcast. Then we could do it from there. And
the Michi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get him.
Yeah.
Do we know him?
No.
Dang it. Anybody out there know the owner of Michi? I know we mentioned him last during that episode, but
yeah,
we'll have to get him on. That'd be cool. Set up in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I like where this is going.
Yeah. That's all I got.
That's a few things.
Yeah. I mean, it's only so much I can do, When our weekends become soccer and baseball every weekend, there's not a ton of time.
Yeah.
Even I was trying to get a beer on the calendar with a buddy of mine this week, and he's like, "Well, I have softball until from 6 to 8. We could do it after that." I'm like, "I'm not at past 8 o'clock on a weekday. I'm not going to get a beer." That's what I'm getting. I'm slowing down and getting ready to go to bed.
Maybe, but even that's stretching it.
Pushing it. Yeah, it's pushing it. Let's go before
like
your softball
8
practice.
a.m. Can we do that?
Yeah, right. So yeah, only so much we can do in those short time frames.
Well, good thing you don't have a huge bucket list.
That's right. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll add some more to it. We can do after I've done all of these things.
You're gonna have to re-up.
We have to redo it. Yeah. So maybe just do them all in one day. That'd be kind of cool.
You definitely could.
Yeah.
Anything around here? Let's maybe not necessarily right in San Diego as far as trips, little staycations or little quick hits here and there.
I was actually good reminder because I was just thinking about it a couple minutes ago. I've never stayed. I love going to Palomar to go camping, Palomar Mountain.
And you said Bailey's was closed, or
Chelsea said it was closed.
Chelsea did.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll have to get the intel on that.
Yeah. Sounds like it happened abruptly.
Yeah.
So there's probably a story.
Okay.
But I've always stayed at Doan Family Campground, which is the one down at the bottom of the hill. So you go up towards Palomar, turn left, and it's down in this little valley. Really cool hiking. But I've never stayed at the observatory campground.
The top one?
Yeah, the top one. So I'll add that to my bucket list too, because it'd be cool. The boys, I think, would get a huge kick out of going to the observatory. We went to it just on after camping at Doan Valley, or maybe one of the days we just drove up there. Maybe we needed firewood and beer probably. And so we went to the observatory also, but it was during the day, so you can't really see anything.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to do it in the evening, actually get to see some cool stars.
Yeah, we stayed up there many moons ago, but stayed at the top one, but we didn't do much. I don't even think we hiked. I think we just hung out.
Yeah.
I think it was just like a one-nighter, just up and down.
I'm not sure, but I think the hiking at Doan Valley is a little better than
Probably
observatory because you're already kind of down in the valley. So a lot of the hikes are level and not a ton of terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a cool creek like that. My favorite hikes are following a creek. I don't need to go, 2,000 feet up in the air. I prefer let's follow this creek and see where it goes. Meander on this creek, around this creek.
You can, you can't get lost. You just follow the creek out of the woods. You'd be good to go.
Exactly. Agreed.
Bailey's on Palomar is currently closed starting December 2nd, 2024. While we understand how this impacts our guests, please understand that we are heartbroken over the situation and are committed to making the necessary changes to reopen to the public as soon as we can.
But changes.
That's about all it says.
Come on, give us some info.
Just checking to see if they reopened. So incredibly grateful. We got to stay here. Nope. They're not replying to anything either. So
they're just shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a lot of oh no's. This is so sad.
Oh no.
Any updates? That was 3 weeks ago. No, they did not reply to that.
Yeah.
This one says what?
I know Chelsea said that people had reservations and then they just pulled the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
We're closed.
No updates. That's the last update, guys.
It's a bummer.
Yeah. The decision was not made lightly, and the weight of it is immeasurable. We are deeply saddened to turn this turn of events and remain committed to reimagining Bailey's future so that we can once again welcome you to this special place. Yeah. Not much info, but
bummer.
Maybe soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's the bucket list for Cassidy. Nice and concise.
Hey, I mean, we were pretty good on time.
Yeah, so no, I dig it.
If I would have gone too much longer.
And quickly, you got some new gear on today now? Guardians and LC hat?
Well, this isn't new. I wear this when I'm in, you just don't see it because I wear it when I'm at Disneyland.
Oh, okay.
But Cam, our Bray today did his living history and he was Stan Lee. So I thought a little Marvel gear to go watch him.
What does it say? Guardians? What's that say
Guardians
below that?
Galaxy Mission Breakout. That's the bride at Disneyland. Rumor has it they might be going back to Tower of Terror.
Oh yeah.
So who knows? That is also just a rumor. So.
The other ones, we're out of that universe now. We're back to
I
Terror.
guess. I have no clue. We'll see.
They've overstayed their welcome.
Maybe
the Guardians. Goodbye.
Yep. And then the new hat is our All-Star hats for Cam's team. So,
what colors are those?
Navy, gold, green.
Gold and green.
Yeah.
What's La Costa Canyon's colors?
Navy, gold, and green.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was similar.
No, there was some tie between LCYO and La Costa Canyon. So
I just never. I mean, I remember playing them, but colorblind. So
yeah,
who knows?
Yep.
Could have been any colors, but
yep.
All right. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll hit you next week on another excellent episode of the Livin in San Diego podcast. Hit us up if you need anything. Hello@livininsandiego. Catch you next week.